Sal Paolantonio will join us here on the Boardwalk Honda Hotline as we take a look back. I know Sal was in L.A. for just an epic performance by both Patrick Mahomes and Jared Goff and the Chiefs and the Rams. And no defense, Sal. That was no defense the other night, but you had a front row seat for the game. Just give our listeners a little indication on the atmosphere and how awesome that night was in L.A.
Well, it was really fantastic. I mean, just the atmosphere of the city of Los Angeles, the community coming together, Mike, after the shooting at Thousand Oaks, after the wildfires, and all the devastation that was suffered and the loss of life. It was a very emotional moment. It was electric. There was a lot of energy in the building. I don't think anybody sat down the entire game. I don't think anybody sat down. Forget about leaving. I don't think anybody took a seat. That's how exciting it was. You know, there was defense played. I mean, you know, Aaron Donald destroyed Cam Irving, obliterated the left guard of the Kansas City Chiefs. And for the life of me, I don't understand why Andy Reid didn't give him any help in that game.
Right.
He let his left guard hang out to dry, just like he let Winston Justice out to dry when O.C. Umenyiora crushed him against the New York Giants. Remember that?
Yeah, I do. And, you know, you're right, because people say there was no defense. There was, 3 defensive touchdowns in the game. Patrick Mahomes threw, 4 or 5 picks in the game. So there was some defense in the game. But overall, let me ask you, those two offenses right now, can anybody slow them down, or do you think that it is a rematch waiting to happen?
I don't have either one of them in the Super Bowl.
You say neither one of them?
I do not have either one of them in the Super Bowl. I have the Steelers and the Saints right now in the Super Bowl.
Steelers and Saints. Okay. You sent me an email, Sal, about Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, and you wondered if Patrick Mahomes would be Andy Reid proof. And apparently on that night he was not.
Well, I mean, Michael, there was an opportunity in the fourth quarter where Andy Reid could have used Kareem Hunt, his running back, who led the NFL in rushing last year, to close out the game. And he allowed Patrick Mahomes to continue to drop back, get pummeled, get intercepted. They could have kept Jared Goff off the field. They could have run the ball. You know, I covered the Rams game against the Packers. I really studied the Rams when they beat the Seattle Seahawks, and both the Seahawks and the Packers ran right up the middle on the Rams.
Right.
The Rams are not a very good rushing defense, and they could have used Kareem Hunt, take the air out of the ball, and forced them to stay on the field, keep Kansas City's offense on the field. But Andy Reid, you know, allowed the Rams to come back, like he let the Titans come back, like he let the Colts come back, like he let the Bucks come back in the NFC Championship game. We've
These are
seen
bad memories.
this before with Andy Reid. Yeah.
These are all bad memories, man. All right, bad memories. Let's go back to Sunday.
I don't see the Chiefs winning in the postseason. I just do not.
All right, and you know what? The defense does bother me too. The defense for both the Rams. I like the Saints more than I like the Rams, and I like in the AFC. It's hard to go against New England still, but you like the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I like the fact that Pittsburgh right now would get the home game. That helps that out.
Yeah, you know, the Steelers. It's interesting. The Saints are the leading rushing team in the NFL, and the Steelers have the most pass attempts in the NFL. So, but you got these two experienced quarterbacks who are not getting sacked and not turning the ball over, and they have both enough defenses to carry the day. I think both of those teams are going to be hard to beat in the postseason, really hard.
Sal Paolantonio, join us for a special Sal Pal Friday edition brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. We are live here at Vagabond Kitchen and Tap House. It's our biggest party of the year. It's packed in here, Sal. Everybody's waiting to hear what you have to say about what happened Sunday, 48-7 and a lot of people seemingly are bailing on this team right now. Is that warranted?
Oh, man, a lot of people are bailing on this team, Michael. A lot of people. I hear it wherever I go. They are totally bailing because they don't believe that the team has the energy and passion every single Sunday, that they're not leaving it all out on the field. And Malcolm Jenkins sort of echoed those thoughts and said he didn't see enough fight in the team. And that's a really damning remark by one of your team leaders.
Yeah, he comes out and basically questions the effort, I guess you could say, and then Kelsey made his comments, and it all looks like a team that is, I don't know, ready to kind of unravel here based on the score of last week's game, but is there a sense that they can turn this thing around, or do you look at them from the outside looking in, or from the inside where you are a lot of times, Sal, that no, this team just doesn't have it this year, and this season is spiraling out of control?
I think it's spiraling out of control. I think the bottom line, Mike, is they can't play pass defense. And if you can't play pass defense in the current NFL, you got a problem. And, you know, the Giants, not for nothing, the Giants have begun to put it all together offensively. This is not a gimme game. I am shocked that the Eagles started out as a full touchdown favorite over the Giants in this game. I'm shocked by that.
I was a little surprised by the line, too, and I want to get your take because the Giants have struggled, but they have played a little bit better. What are some of the things, I know we're only on Wednesday, but what are some of the things that you think will be a key for this Eagles team to match up against the Giants? Because as you said, their secondary appears like it's going to be a partial mash unit again.
It is a partial mash unit, and just like I said last week, I don't know who's going to cover Michael Thomas. I don't know who's going to cover Odell Beckham Jr. Or Evan Ingram or Sterling Shepard. Go down the list. I mean, they just do not have enough bodies, enough quality bodies in the secondary to play pass defense. And, you know, they have problems tackling Alvin Kamara. We'll say hello to Saquon Barkley. They lack speed. They lack explosiveness. They lack ability in the secondary. That's a big problem. And, you know, they're not scoring any points right now. And that to me, is on Carson Wentz and Doug Peterson.
Yeah, a lot of people looking at the coaching staff. Mike Gill comes out this week, Sal, and says we're having trouble figuring out a way to get Golden Tate involved in the offense. You talked about how last week that was almost criminal that they couldn't get him in the first week. Well, they wasted him again seemingly last week. Are those comments pretty damning that they can't figure out how to use this guy?
I don't know why in the world you would say that. Why would you say that? Why?
Right.
Why? Just make something up. Just say, hey, they did a good job of defending him and taking him away. Say anything but say, we're having problems incorporating into offense. Well, why in the world did you invest a third-round pick in him then?
Yeah, no question. All right, Sal, you got the Giants coming up. As you mentioned, Beckham, Barkley, Eli Manning has played a little bit better. He was pretty efficient last week. Give us a couple of keys that our listeners can look forward to Sunday because, hey, if they win this game, I don't know how that changes things. They do have the 3 division games back-to-back-to-back. It's reminiscent of that Jeff Garcia year where they had the back-to-back-to-back division games. They had that horrible blowout loss against the Colts, and then they got hot and got to the playoffs. But do you see that that's a possibility with this Giant game here?
This is do or die on Sunday at the Link. This is do or die. And I want to see how they match up against the Odell Beckham Jr. So that would be the number 1 key. And number 2, I want to see how they're tackling, what kind of fight they have when Saquon Barkley has the ball in his hands. And number 3, I want to see, all right, now the gauntlet has been thrown down to Mike Gill and Doug Peterson. You got Golden Tate. Golden Tate going to touch the football 12, 15 times in this game.
Eagle fans, fuel up for game day at Dunkin' Donuts. DD Perk members get a medium hot or iced coffee for $1 every Eagles game day. Just use your DD enrolled cards. And when the Eagles win, you win. Sal, last week I think was the first time, maybe in a long time, on our show, you picked against the Eagles. You were right. The Saints won the game rather handily. I know it's a little early, but do you sense an Eagle win on Sunday to get this train back on the tracks?
Yeah, I think they have to respond, and they will respond, but they will not cover that spread. I'm looking at another Jake Elliott game-winning field goal against the Giants in back-to-back years. So I'm going to say the Eagles win 20-17.
Close one, 20-17. And we'll see. They need it. They got the Redskins and the Cowboys coming up. A win this week gets them back in the NFC East. A lot of great football still to go. We know that 2-3 weeks down the road, a lot of things can change, but this team needs to get healthy. I know, Sal, will you be covering the Eagle-Giant game? Is that game of heightened importance for the mothership?
I will be there.
All right. Got your DD coffee all ready to go?
Oh, yeah. I'll get a couple dozen Dunkin' Donuts, bring them to the fellas at the parking lot, make sure that I get a prime spot there in the players' lot. That's how I do it. I drive with Dunkin' Donuts, baby. It works.
I love it. Hey, by the way, the book, we're at holiday season. I'd like you to give our listeners a quick little a synopsis and plug on where they can get your book, because we're starting to think about Christmas presents. And I think your book might be a great book for the people out there if they're thinking of something for Dad. Yeah,
go online at Amazon.com and order the book now. Philly Special, inside story how the Philadelphia Eagles won the first Super Bowl titles in its third printing. Still the #1 book in the Philadelphia area of all books, and in the Dallas-Fort Worth area of all books. And now it's #1 in the entire Mid-Atlantic region.
Wow.
From New York, Washington, D.C. So people are responding to the book, and I think people are out there buying it as a Christmas present. You know, the book is really relevant now. Why? Because it really gives you an idea of how hard it was to win a Super Bowl when you see how fast they have unraveled.
You know, and we talk about it a lot, the roster in the NFL, you could snap your fingers and you get old pretty fast, and you're seeing kind of the roster breaking down. They depended on a Jason Peters, a Darren Sproles, and some older guys. And, you know, Joe Banner, he always got rid of those guys, and sometimes people got mad, but many of those guys went on other places and did not succeed.
Yeah, those were emotional decisions made by the front office. Let's give those two guys an opportunity to get back to the Super Bowl because they missed the last one. Well, those were really bad decisions.
Sal, Thanksgiving is here. We appreciate you spending some time with us all season long on Sal Pal Fridays and making a special appearance on our Big 99 Bottles show today. We've got people all over the place here coming out. We've got 99 pairs of tickets to all events around the Delaware Valley that we're giving out. And it was nice of you to make some time today on a special Sal Pal Wednesday. So happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
Yeah, you have a safe and healthy Thanksgiving, and I'll talk to you next week, Mike.